People often ask me, Jose, what's it like to guide a blind runner? And rather than just talk you through it, I'm going to go ahead and show you with the help of my blind friend, Randy Pierce.
All right, and I just want to give a little caveat that what we're going to do, we've practiced a lot of time and it may have some complicated aspects, but it's really pretty simple when you start with the basics, and that's what we're going to hopefully walk you through. I really just encourage, get out there and try it, because anybody should find out that, you know, the possibility to run is there if you have a guide and someone who's sight impaired and wants to run.
Fantastic. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, you need to warn your runner in advance of anything that's coming up, any changes in direction that you can't just kind of do over a slow period of time. So you'll need to negotiate that up front to their comfort level. In the case of Randy, he's comfortable with anything 3 seconds, sometimes even a little less. Your runner might be a little more or a little less. Make sure you negotiate that up front. What you'll see in this first video is me warning Randy about an impending left turn, which he knows is going to be a 90-degree left, plus or minus, and I'll give him a 3-second countdown. And once we finish that turn, in case the degrees aren't exactly 90 or he's not sure exactly what that looks like at the end of the turn, I'll tell him straight, and he knows that from there on we're going straight. Left turn in 3, 2, 1. Straight. You're probably thinking that a right turn looks exactly like the left, just going the other way. And you'd be mostly right, but there are a couple of key differences. So you'll notice in this next video the 2 key points. First, if you're running into or towards oncoming traffic, as you should be, then when you take a left turn, you're staying on the left side of the road. If you're going to take a right turn, you have to cross traffic, and as a result, especially with your runner on your right side, you're going to want to do a shoulder check first. So you'll see me do that up front. Once I know it's clear, then I'll give him the countdown, and then at that point I need to be more aware, because rather than pulling him through a left turn, I'm actually cutting Randy off as a part of this right turn. So I've got to make sure that I do that gradually to not trip us up. So general awareness is a lot more important for me with Randy when he's on my right side. Obviously, if your runner's on your left side, then everything reverses. Right turn, 3, 2, 1. Straight. The enemy of any runner, especially an exhausted marathoner, is tricky footing. Whether that's manhole cover or some cracks in the road, a pothole, you're going to want to make sure that you over communicate those to your blind athlete to make sure that you keep them and their ankles safe. So in this next video, you'll notice just a quick countdown as I tell Randy about some trick steps coming up. And generally what I find that he does in that instance is he'll just kind of run a little light. His steps will be a little lighter as he comes down, not quite trusting the ground in front of him. If it's a longer patch, I'll let him know and say it happens, it's going to happen for the next 100 feet or what have you, or as long as I can see, and let him know when it's over. Otherwise, if I just give him a quick call like I'm about to do, he knows it's a couple of steps and then he's good to recover. Trick step in 3, 2, 1. Nice. An essential part of any plan is accounting for the unknown. So we've got a quick command that gets us around unforeseen obstacles, things that show up at the last moment. It could be a runner that stops up quickly, or somebody pulls out in front of you. So I'll give him a direction, and then the word shift, and then the direction again, and he knows that that's a quick command. It's not a countdown. So in this case, there's a car in our way. In normal circumstances, if I'd seen a car that far in advance parked on the side of the road, I would have just slowly tracked over and back again, and he probably never would have even noticed, or if he did, he wouldn't think to ask about it. He'd know and trust that we don't need to communicate about it. But that happens throughout any long run. But in this case, if I give him a right shift right, that tells him that immediately he needs to come with me to the right, and then I'm going to give him a left shift left to immediately bring us back into the original position. And the other thing that you'll notice on this one, you probably noticed on the other clips before, is he will verbalize the command back to me, verbalize the instruction back, and that way I know that he's heard me. If I hear that, then we're on the same page. Communication is a two-way street, it's a dialogue. If I don't hear that, then there's a chance he hasn't heard me. I can't just continue. I need to get a little louder, make sure I've got his attention, and try it again.
Breeze feels good. Yes.
Right shift right. Okay. Left shift left.
Got it.
Last but not least, the home stretch. You'll notice in this final clip that we've got a little bit of tricky footing just as we're coming into our finish line. Randy knew where the finish line was, so I didn't bother counting it down for him. I just give him an and a stop. So these are the little nuances in communication that you'll work out with your partner. But at the end, make sure you celebrate, because what you just did was incredible. Anytime that two folks go out and get something like this done, it matters. So make sure you're living that moment. As Randy said out front, it's not impossible. It's not even hard, but you do have to plan and you have to commit to teamwork, and anybody can do that. So enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching this video. You might notice at the end, if you're looking for an Easter egg, anybody who's familiar with the infamous Tom Brady high five meme, just trying to get some love, well, at the end of our video, there's an example of what happens when you don't communicate well. Randy and I negotiated a high five. He knew it was coming, but I didn't tell him I was looking for some love back, and you'll notice that awkward moment at the end.
Jose, great work on our last run before Boston.
Hey man, it's all about teamwork. That's it.